Let's see the last part of this topic, which is about HIV and AIDS. So HIV is a virus, the human immunodeficiency virus, and HIV is going to cause AIDS. A person can have the virus inside the body, a person can have HIV, but not necessarily have AIDS. Once HIV has affected the body's immune system, has damaged the body's immune system sufficiently, then the body is not able to fight off infections, which means that normal infections that our body fight off easily become life-threatening. So it gives rise to life-threatening infections and cancers because of the progressive failure of the immune system. And once the immune system has been damaged sufficiently, we say that the person has AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. When you have a set of symptoms together, we call it a syndrome. So that's AIDS. Now, the virus has a rapid replication cycle. It mutates very rapidly, and it can produce up to 10 to the power of 10 copies of itself in one day. And within the same person, you will have several modifications of the virus. So HIV infects white blood cells, white blood cells which are responsible to fight off bacteria. So the white blood cells are part of the immune system, so they fight bacterial and viral infections. Now the HIV is able to make itself part of the host DNA, but remain dormant for many years, which means that during its dormant stage, copies of itself are not going to be made. So it's going to infect some cells, some white blood cells, but copies of itself, copies of the HIV virus will not be made. Now, HIV is a retrovirus. This means that it uses the enzyme reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase is an enzyme which is used to convert RNA to DNA. RNA is a single strand, while DNA is a double strand. This is the DNA double helix, while RNA is a single helix. Both of them are genetic material. So reverse transcriptase will convert RNA to DNA, and it's used by HIV. So when we are treating HIV, when we use antiviral drugs such as zidovudine, it's going to inhibit the reverse transcriptase enzyme. And these enzymes are only used by retroviruses. Hence, its inhibition does not affect normal cells, but only reduces the ability of the viruses to multiply. However, the problem is that zidovudine cannot eliminate HIV. It will only slow it down. It will slow down the multiplication of the virus. And the problem is also that the virus becomes resistant to the drug over time, which means that you cannot use only zidovudine against HIV. Therefore, we use a combination of other reverse transcriptase inhibitors, which slow down the development of the resistance and increase the overall efficacy of HIV/AIDS therapy. But there is no known cure for HIV. Now, why is it so difficult to treat HIV? It's because HIV mutates very rapidly. The drug used to treat HIV may also harm the host cell. Therefore, it's very difficult to target HIV without damaging the host cell, because remember, HIV is able to make itself part of the host DNA. And HIV destroys helper T cells of the immune system. Helper T cells are one of the most important type of cell in our immune system, and these are the cells that allow our body to fight off bacterial infections or ingested microbes. So when these cells are destroyed, our body becomes prone to all types of infections. Since HIV was discovered in the early 1980s, it has killed over 30 million people around the world, and more than 2/3 of all the HIV cases are in sub-Saharan Africa, where 5% of the population is HIV positive. This has resulted in a lot of significant social and economic impact, because the life expectancy in that region has decreased sharply. But the situation is slowly improving due to international support programs. Now let's see why it's so hard to fight off AIDS or HIV problem concerning sociocultural factors. So first factor is the use of condoms. So using condoms would greatly reduce the spread of HIV AIDS. However, certain societies reject its use due to economic or religious reasons, and there are even regions where condoms are either not easily available, or if they are available, they are not affordable to the people. They are just too expensive. There's also cultural factors, lack of education and misinformation. Some people don't even know what it is. There is also the spread of wrong information. For example, there's once where men believed that they could be cured of AIDS by having sex with a virgin. So this reportedly led to the rape of younger and younger girls and contaminating these people. There's also illegal activities, illegal drugs that are taken through infected syringes. There's also prostitution and promiscuous sexual contacts. These increase the risk of HIV and AIDS spreading. There is also the cost associated to the treatment. Antiretroviral treatments exceed the average income of many patients, and government provide little or no financial support to people with HIV or AIDS. There's also medical factors. So some patients don't even know that they are HIV positive, and they end up infecting many other people. They do not seek medical help and continue to spread the disease. There's also stigmatization of patients with HIV AIDS. So with this, we end with topic D.5, which is about viruses, antiviral drugs, and HIV AIDS problems.